Alright, Mel here to continue the adventures of Hjalti, and today we have a special guest, fellow Skyrim expert and my girlfriend, alias Mara.
Hi everyone, don't know how much I'll actually be talking today, but I might throw in some comments here and there.
Where last we left off, Hjalti was leaving to go to Bleak Falls Barrow. On behalf of the Jarl, who he definitely wants to impress so he can rise higher in his standing and try to advance in the world. So, we saw Bleak Falls Barrow in the previous episode. Rayloff pointed it out to us. It's near that town of Riverwood where I went through before, so I'll head back there and see if the locals know anything about it. It wouldn't do to go charging in unprepared. Ah, Khajiit traders. So Khajiit come from elsewhere, in a land called Elsewhere, which is a stupid name, but they're stupid people, so it all fits rather neatly.
Fortune smiles upon this meeting. The Khajiit hail from a distant land called Elsewhere, bordered on the north by Cyrodiil, and the south by the glistening blue waters of the sea. Elsewhere is an arid land of deserts and rocky canyons, where the sun shines warmly, always. They're a city so ancient, the sands have swallowed them whole. But now I will say no more, for I miss my home greatly.
Now, from what we read in the lore, at least half of Elsewhere is actually jungle, but as I said, Khajiit are kind of stupid. They do function as general goods merchants, so they're extremely valuable to the player. So you can see how buy and sell just about anything, including various illegal substances. Pretty much all Khajiit are addicted to moon sugar, a drug that they produce back in their homeland. And Hjalti actually has a taste for it himself, having grown up in the seedy and decadent underbelly of Daggerfall's palace. So I'm going to maybe sell a few things to get some of that, which is actually quite useful to me. Buy a couple units of moon sugar.
May your road lead you to
So Khajiit are out here because the racist Nords don't let them into their cities because they think that Khajiit are criminals. As it happens, all Khajiit are criminals, so they're right, but it's by pure luck because they also think all Argonians are criminals, and only like half of Argonians are criminals. So, you'll see me go through this picturesque area quite a few times. We have the beautiful Whiterun surroundings, we have the throat of the world, the highest mountain in the world up there. That monastery will be important later on. And it's a safe area so I can freely sprint through it. Many times I want to conserve my stamina and not sprint just in case the enemy pops up who I want to run away from. It happens. But here we're, still safe in Whiterun, we have the farms around, we have the guards around, so nothing should jump out and kill me. You have to be cautious on Legendary.
Rorikstead's a nice enough little hamlet, but a boring posting for a god. If a dragon attacks...
You may recall Lokir from Rorikstead. The lore is kind of inconsistent about whether it's a big town or not. I'll talk about some of the inconsistencies there when we see more of them. So, one great thing about Skyrim is that there are many interesting... Ah, there's a wolf there. Better be cautious. Many interesting random encounters and world interactions to be had. Dozens and dozens and dozens of interesting NPCs or monsters to come across out here. Interesting scenarios and whatnot. Some opportunities, some dangerous. Well, the wolf hit me, but not too badly. And I bring this up because those happen in predetermined locations, one of which is... Oh. So animals have like a 10% chance inexplicably of having jewelry. That is way too high a chance. You should always loot their bodies just in case. This area up here is one of those areas where you can have a random encounter happen. Actually, on the way out here I had one. It was those Imperial soldiers escorting the prisoner. We'll see what I come across this time. Into the town, up the road. What do we have up here? Anything? You might have nothing. But often interesting opportunities or dangerous enemies. Ah, there's somebody. I wonder who this could be. I happen to know he's harmless.
The life of adventure and song is the life for us, eh, friend? Observing and capturing the epic struggle for Skyrim, when brothers clash with bitter blades, surely there is a song to be found.
So, traveling minstrel. Interesting. You come across him fairly often, there's not much you can really do with him. He'll often be fighting monsters, fairly successfully. I guess if you're a traveler in Skyrim, you become pretty combat proficient, whether you're a musician or magician or anything. So we're getting close to Riverwood now, where hopefully the locals will tell us about Bleak Falls Barrow and what to be concerned about there. Very pretty town. One of the prettiest parts of Skyrim. It was smart of the developers to have you start off here, where they have some of their best scenery on display. But they could have picked a better spot for the actual opening wagon ride, which is tedious. I also don't know why they had random weather for that wagon ride. Sometimes it's like a clear, beautiful day, sometimes it's all cloudy, so you can't see a thing. Should have had that just be standardized so they can show things off.
I mostly deal with petty thievery and drunken brawls. Been too long since we've had a good bandit raid.
As it happens, they had a bandit raid like a day ago, but we'll find that out later. This inn seems a good place to get information.
This is a local favorite and one of the first songs
Sven's a bard. I really love the inclusion of bards in this game. They should have more songs, but they do have like an appropriate Scandinavian saga kind of feel to things. I do like this song particularly.
Yep, ale's going bad.
I guess you don't have potatoes in your ears after all.
Such a weird expression.
Get a fresh batch and
But then he went quiet.
Welcome. Let me know if you want it.
Ah.
I think I got a clean mind. We got rooms and food. Drink for the thirsty, food for the...
I'm hungry, but I have no money. Perhaps that will change soon.
All right then.
He seems to know nothing useful. Who is this person who is bossing him around?
You're that visitor been poking around.
Also, nothing really to offer.
Matilda charged in full of zeal. And the braggart named Ragnar was boastful no more. When his ugly red head rolled around on the floor.
Nice little story there. Do you know anything?
Feindal thinks he can woo Camilla Valerius away from me. She's already mine, I keep telling him.
Ah, that's probably why Feindal told me not to talk to you in the previous episode.
Camilla Valerius knows I'm the best man in Riverwood. That elf is kidding himself if he thinks she would choose him over me.
This seems completely inconsequential and beneath me. Goodbye. Sleeping Giant Inn. I wonder if they're foreshadowing some kind of plot importance here. Very subtle. Let's see about this general goods place. Maybe they have something useful.
Well, one of us has to do something.
I said no. No adventures, no theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
We are done talking about this. Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that.
What did I overhear?
Yeah, well, I don't know what you overheard, but the Riverwood Trader is still open. Feel free to shop. Yeah, we did have a bit of a break-in, but we still have plenty to sell. Robbers were only after one thing. An ornament, solid gold in the shape of a dragon's claw.
Or perhaps keep it, but I want information from him about where it is.
You could? I've got some coin coming in from my last shipment. It's yours if you bring my claw back.
Well, that's interesting.
If you're going to get those thieves, you should head to Bleak Falls Barrow.
Very interesting.
Town.
What a funny
This is
coincidence.
your plan, Lucan?
Yes. So now you don't have to go, do you?
Oh, really? Well, I think your new helper here needs a guide.
Well, no, by the 8, fine. But only to the edge of town.
They're moderately interesting characters. Lucan, as you can see, is kind of overly protective of her, but she, on the other hand, is very foolish. So it makes a certain amount of sense. She is, in fact, the woman who both Feindal and Sven are trying to
You have
woo.
go through town and across the bridge to get to Bleak Falls Barrow. You can see it from here, though.
She
The
pointed
map
the right
just over
direction.
the buildings.
That's unusual. Typically she points in this way for some reason.
Those thieves must be mad hiding out there. Those old crypts are filled with nothing but traps, trolls, and who knows what else.
Well, that's interesting.
What do you want?
Papas isn't too friendly with strangers, but you seem alright.
Well, she knows nothing.
I wonder why they only stole Lucan's golden claw. I mean, we have plenty of things in the shop that are worth just as much coin. Lucan found the claw about a year after he opened the store. He never quite explained where he got it. He's a tricky one.
Intriguing. It's a little annoying how my walk speed is too slow and my jog speed is too fast to just keep pace with her. NPC speeds are strange.
Or perhaps you're
This is
just a
bridge
little
out of
too
town.
short.
The path up the mountain to the
But wait,
northwest leads
she's
to
an
Bleak Falls
Imperial.
Barrow.
That's just as short as being a
I
Breton.
guess I should get back to my brother. He'll
Good
throw
point.
a fit if I take too long. Such a child.
Well, off we go then. I know where to get to, and I know to avoid traps, trolls, and these robbers. Everywhere. Some direction. Now, as I've said before, and we'll say again, it's good to have your summons ready before fights break out, so you have time to regenerate before the fight actually happens. Because once your fight begins, your mana comes back very, very slowly, and you don't want that happening. It's kind of a way of investing your mana. There's a few other spells that are good for that kind of purpose. Ah, here's a wolf. Not going directly for my summon, that's convenient. Destruction up. So you can see when you use skills in this game, they level up and get stronger. And when your skills level up, you get experience toward your own level ups. I'll go into great detail about that stuff later on, but for now just know that when I use my skills, the skills level up, and when the skills level up, I get closer to leveling up myself. My familiar really creeps me out with his wolf sounds behind me. When you play on Legendary, you get kind of nervous about animal sounds. Keep wanting to turn around and blast him. I guess there's the edge of Bleak Falls Barrow. There, I'm getting close. Oh wait, somebody up there. Maybe this is one of those robbers. 2 robbers. Well, 2 I can't take on my own. Luckily, I don't need to. So back in town, I bought several useful spells. I'll be showing those off one by one and explaining what they do. Time to learn Fury. Very handy. High Elves start off with it. Another one of their early game advantages. They're the masters of illusion magic like that. Alright, so I'll take careful aim and fire. And send back. So he is now enraged and will attack anything nearby, including his former allies, who will also attack him in self-defense. So off he goes inside there to go kill whoever that was. I better run over there before it wears off. It doesn't last too long, and this is my chance to get them both. Try to toast the 2 of them both more or less evenly. Not let anybody win too well. That wouldn't be good for me. Yep. You can use quick bursts of sprint like that to avoid attacks, but I hear somebody else coming. I better get out of there so I can get my mana back. As you probably saw there, it takes me about 1 full, mana pool to take down a single bandit with double flames. So I can't really take on 2 or 3 yet. That's why I don't need to. As a mage, your strength is really your versatility. You have so many options available, so many things in your utility belt. A warrior has only like 1 or 2 tricks, but they're both extremely powerful ones. A mage's destruction, on the other hand, is quite weak, but it works against everything. It's your kind of your catch-all, not-so-great solution. But you have specialized counters for every kind of enemy you might actually run across. You saw for groups of humanoids there, I have Fury. I'll show other tricks off later on. For a single bandit, I can just rely upon Destruction, which I want to be training up and empowering because it'll be one of my most important skills and one of the hardest to level up. There he is. He's fast, he's a Nord, I'm a mere Breton. So I need to sprint to stay ahead of him. Don't want to be taking unnecessary damage. Ooh, he went right over that rock, didn't expect that. But it's almost down, but I'm almost out of mana. He's a tough one. It's true. Dodge that one there, and down he goes. Now, I've said that heavy armor is basically never worth looting. The exception are helmets. Helmets are pretty much always valuable. Plus, these Viking helmets with their horns are pretty classy. So, back I go to loot his comrades and then search that tower to make sure there's none of them up there lurking to come in behind me. Out of character, of course, I know that there aren't, but should be thorough. An amethyst. I'm getting quite lucky with the treasure. Well, now. I will want that later on. Seems useful to have. For the short term. Later on I won't need it. I'll have spells that can serve the same purpose. I will not be doing any kind of combat with my bow, because I'm a mage, but it will be a useful tool for several purposes. So they keep the treasure chest up here in a location that makes no sense. It can be snowed on, rained on, it's out of their reach that they come up to this exposed platform to get to it. Whatever though. Those lockpicks are appreciated. Lockpicks are easy to come by later on in the game, but for now they're a little bit scarce. And it's quite easy to run out of them if you come across an early expert or master lock, which I find to be somewhat luck-based, although Mara is better than I am at picking locks.
So on the details, see, as a Khajiit player, I've got excellent eyesight looking at the outside of the ring just to give myself a little more wiggle room with that wider range of possibilities.
I feel the need to point out that, as usual, Khajiit are not the best choice there, and Argonians are better at that job too.
Khajiit are prettier.
I concede that point. Khajiit are prettier than Argonians. So, at least one bandit, but there could be more. I can't chance that. So, take my time here, wait for a straight shot, and then use Fury on him. See if he can scout out his companions for me as I get around this corner and get safety. Ah, more than one. I can hear people moving around up there. I better take cover so they fight each other, not me. Should be doing that already by now. Now I can close in. Nope, one's going right for me. Two are going possibly right for me. That's bad. Perhaps another dose of fury. Or now they're going for each other over there? They're being strange. Well. Nope, that one's aiming for me. Come on. No, he dodged it. Okay, I'm in trouble now. So, fury is very powerful, but it's not a panacea, even against humans. Because who they target is pretty luck-based. If they don't go for each other, you're in trouble. With stealth, you can ensure that they'll do that, but I'm not playing stealth because, again, stealth is overpowered. For this very kind of reason. Uh-oh, it's an orc with a warhammer. Now, luckily, warhammers make him slow. So I can run over here, and he's right behind me somehow. Frickin' Bretons. I'm used to playing as like a Nord or a High Elf. People who know how to run. Orcs are very fast, too, so... But I've got him now. He's a tough one, walking around all the snow like shirtless, just to show off his manly physique for us.
Much appreciated.
Well, the other two are still aware of me, so I'm not getting mana back fast. And they both seem to be archers, so they're quite dangerous to me. Enemies have supernaturally good aim, unless you know how to counter it. No matter how fast you're going, they will just shoot you across an open space. But they're not great at dealing with cover. Is he coming around here to me? Oh wow, he is really being aggressive. Okay, so close range archery fight. Not good at dealing with cover, so you can dodge them that way. And also, if you dodge back and forth, they don't really aim center of mass as a human would, so you can dodge them that way. They'll shoot perfectly toward where you're going, but not where you necessarily are. So, simply moving fast is no... Oh, he's taking cover himself. Well, I'll get my mana back, then I'll come out there. As you see, as I approach, I dodge back and forth, so he aims wrong. Keep dodging. Bob and weave. Ah, he got me. You see, he does pretty hefty damage. Out of mana, take cover. Can't get perfect cover without crouching for sneaking, which I'm not going to do. Almost down. Yeah, I've got him now. The other one's awake, though. Jeez. This fight did not go the way one would hope. Well, Luke... No, don't want his first shoes. Those are worthless. Have him back.
Not a fan of furred things.
It's inhumane. It's also really weak. Like, worse than your starting armor in every way. There's some kinds of gear that you should never really buy, because your starting stuff is just better. You shouldn't buy anything worse than or equal to steel weapons, because they're easy to come by for free. You shouldn't buy anything worse than leather armor, because your starting armor is better than that. Yep, still in combat. Jeez, they're really... Enemies are kind of strange with how they detect you or not detect you. With stealth on, they won't notice you shooting them in the face point blank. But they can know where you are through a mountain otherwise, like they did there. So I couldn't end the fight, so I'm not getting my mana back fast. Dodging around behind this cover here. Oh, nope, he was too smart for that one. Cover. They're pretty good about, coming around, not letting you get an easy shot at them like that. And a lot of them will back away, so you can't just dodge around the corner to get them. Yep, he backed away in the meantime. Smart, but not smart enough. So I'm getting stronger every second, and he's not. Yeah, I could, but rather not. You can also notice that I can kind of arc shots around these corners a little bit, because I can fire, with the hand of my choice, whereas he has to fire in a straight line. Another important trick as a mage, which you don't have the option of using as a warrior. Alright, I've got him now. Shor is a god that some of you may be unfamiliar with, because he's only really in the Norse, or Nord pantheon, but he's very important to them. He's their word for the god Lorkhan in the elf names. So he's pretty much like the god of all kinds of important stuff we'll get into later. Very important, actually. I do wish they played up the Nord gods a little bit more in this game, instead of having them inexplicably worship the 8 divines or 9 divines, same as the Imperials down south. Really, Ulfric should be like talking about reinstating the Nord pantheon instead of like just getting Talos back to the Imperial one. But whatever. So, 2 bandits. It seems like a job for Fury if it'll work properly this time. Come on. Is it gonna work? Please fight each other for once. Come on, you know you want to. There we go. I think they're fighting each other. So now I've got them. Now I can close in, toast them both. Perfect. That's how it's supposed to go. Still ran out of mana, but it made good progress there. So try to make sure they both come out about even. Don't want to be running back with like no mana from the 2 of them. Yep. There goes one. She'll get back up, but she won't have a chance to. There goes the other. Enemies often fly in strange directions when they die. So I will loot the bodies, like any hero. Skeevers. Skeevers are these creepy rat things. As I said, don't ever buy steel weapons. Tons of bandits carry them. This guy up here often has a leveled up item, so it's something stronger than his living companions. It's unclear to me what killed them, why he's lying on this altar, but it's kind of a bad omen if you ask me. More Skeevers. This guy apparently was killed by Skeevers, which is an indignity, but a real risk if you're playing on Legendary. They're quite dangerous to me. Now, the chest over here was locked. Locks and many other items in Skyrim follow the same kind of nomenclature as the difficulties. Novice is the easiest, then Apprentice, then Adept is medium, then you've got Expert, then Master, and then Legendary. There are no Legendary locks, of course, but same progression. So Novice locks, you can see, are trivial to pick. Oh, some potions there, that'll be useful. Some jewelry. I kind of wish torches were needed in this game, but everything is inexplicably well lit all the time. Now, notice these spider webs. That means people haven't been down here. Inexplicably, like 5 people have been down here. Burial urns. These are often empty, but sometimes carry small potions or jewelry, so you should always check them. Potions are especially valuable at this point. But yeah, about like 3/4 of them are empty. Nothing up there. Keep making my way through these creepy ruins with the dust falling from the ceiling. I really do enjoy this aesthetic. And pretty much everything about Skyrim really appeals to my particular kind of style and favorite setting. Potion on the shelf. How nice. I kind of suspend my disbelief about how huge these underground areas are, too. It's silly, but at least they show them being kind of overgrown and collapsing. Ooh, somebody up there. Better be cautious. There you have a summon spell ready. He's walking forward toward a lever. He's pulling the lever. What's he doing? I don't like the looks of this. Darts are shooting him? How strange. And now he drops dead. Well, this room is evidently very dangerous. Let me avoid walking in that center area. Or up toward those creepy mouths. Or toward these creepy things. Huh. Alright, I see this thing shot darts at them. There don't seem to be any others around. I'm going to dart in there, if you'll forgive the pun. Grab his gear. Okay, didn't get shot. What are these things? Well, I'll make my way up there now that I know where the dart trap is. It would probably kill me at this level because on Legendary difficulty we take so much damage from everything. A snake and a whale. And a potion over here. Something fell out of here. And there's a head on the ground. It might have fallen from up there. The angle makes no sense, but it apparently fell down there. So originally it was snake, whale. I see a whale there. It's on the other side of this thing. Oh, can it be turned? Well, Hjalti has an idea. He's smarter than any common bandit. Snake. Whale. He's also a little bit too smart to just like charge in there and risk it shooting him in the face. So let me reach in from over here and jump back. I knew it would work. So. Well, that explains that mystery. Somebody could close it from the other side, as we'll see somebody apparently did. Although how he closed it and got those turn things reversed back to the wrong code is a mystery. This book here is valuable treasure, but it'll give me skill points in the skill that I don't want. It's a thievery kind of skill, and I'm trying to play a pure mage here, so I won't get that skill.
Pity you're too much of a reader to pick up a book without reading it.
Yes, there's no option to just pick it up. Ooh, that's lucky treasure there. That'll give me a fair amount of gold. Well, I don't like the look of these stairs. I'd be going in blind, but kind of like if enemies psychically know where you are, your familiars and other summons psychically know where enemies are. So it will know there's, well, it's supposed to know where they are, but it's being stupid. Well, you get both the strengths and the weaknesses of NPCs when you do summons and conjuration. They have their unfair super senses, but they also have their amazing stupidity. So there's more than one skeever down there, and more than one skeever would be quite lethal to me at this point. But luckily I can make them come up to me, I can toast them one by one. Like all animals, 10% chance of inexplicably having valuable jewelry on them, I don't know. There's another skeever, let me toast it from safety down up here. Alright, 2 down. Familiar, go get the next one. Please? No, you're going the wrong way. As I said, they're stupid. You can't rely on your summons. They're a useful tool, but they will not solve all your problems. No one tool as a mage will solve all your problems. But luckily you have more than 1 or 2 tools. So you gotta use everything at your disposal. Well, this is a sinister kind of place. Okay, no traps. That poison there is very valuable to a combat kind of character. This scroll is theoretically quite powerful. It's much stronger than anything I can cast at this point, but all my direct damage things are quite weak on Legendary. This must have been people I killed. I don't know why they didn't give them actual names. I didn't give subtitles there, he just said, I know I ran ahead with the claw, but I need help. So that's an interesting giveaway there. Well, see all these spider webs around here. They're a little too thick for my taste. I bet some of those creepy frostbite spiders we saw in the tutorial area are here. So I can't get through these webs, but I can burn them or use any other kind of spell or weapon to cut through them. Even mysteriously shooting arrows into them works just as well. Alright, I can go on through now. Oh gosh, that's a big spider. Alright, I'm getting out of here. That thing would easily instant kill me. With its poison even, which it can do right through this like hole in the wall there, so you gotta be very cautious. There, spat it. Now's my chance. I'm gonna use another trick that I bought in town. Much more powerful summon, which costs me a lot more mana, so I can't rely on it too much just yet, but will probably solve this problem for me. Or at least be my best option. Alright, new summon. Get in there. Oh no. Didn't catch fire. There we go. So Frost Astronauts are like to fight at range, but they're bad at range. You should always try to have them fight at melee, where they have this passive fire damage thing. The reason for that is that, like NPCs, they have super, accurate range skills, but they also are bad about dealing with cover and whatnot, and they'll often just kind of fling their fireballs at walls that they themselves are hiding behind, thereby wasting their entire summon duration and all your mana. So you want to find ways to try to summon them in melee and pin them in melee so they can't run away, as I like to do. If the summon goes down, I'm in trouble, so I better kill the spider before it runs out of time or gets killed. Phew, we did it. Don't have much duration left on that thing. Or much hit points, I imagine. Alright. Lucky Amethyst. Now, big spiders always have double venom, which is useful treasure. I know this room is clear, but in character I probably better make sure there's no more spiders lurking around. These bigger ones are much like the small ones, just often have potions and jewelry, but more often are empty. No more spiders in the ceiling there. Apparently some other dead people in here. Desiccated meaning sucked the juices out of him. Did the research about spiders there. Sort of, not really. It's not quite how spiders digest things, but it's the common, not quite right knowledge version of it. Our first ever dark elf.
You did it. You
killed it. Now cut me down before anything else shows up. Yes, the claw. I know how it works. The claw, the markings, the door in the Hall of Stories.
What are you
I know
talking
how they all
about?
fit together. Help me down and I'll show you. You won't believe the power the Nords have hidden there.
Intriguing. Well, hand over the claw
Does
first.
it look like I can move?
Yes, I can see you moving. You can move your whole body. Well, okay. Now, one thing that everybody in Tamriel should know is that fire is worthless against its dark elves. But luckily, once again, I was prepared. Another trick that I bought. A lightning attack. Now, you won't see me use lightning very often. It's generally speaking worse than fire for reasons that I'll get into soon enough. But against people who are highly resistant to fire, it's the thing to go with. Let me free you, but some shocks there. Alright, give me the claw. No, but you know, he's betraying me. What a surprise. Fine, run ahead. I'm going to be cautious. Don't want to run into a stupid trap along here and get instant killed by that. No, that's unusual. He's turning around to fight me. Usually he goes off and gets killed by a stupid trap. Whoa! Didn't dodge that one very well. Got stuck. So you can see that it's taken me a lot of mana to bring him down. Luckily he's giving me the... Oh, he got stuck. Yeah, fair is fair, I guess.
He really doesn't do well with the spider webs.
No. So you can see that it cost me a lot of mana to kill him compared to most bandits, and there's a reason for that. Basically, lightning spells suck. Ooh, a journal. Let me just read that journal. But first I better heal myself. Everybody in Skyrim starts off with a healing spell. Fairly useful. Best one you'll ever get all game, really. My fingers are trembling. The golden claw is finally in my hands, and with it, the power of the ancient Nord heroes. That fool, Lucan Valerius, had no idea that his favorite sword decoration was actually the key to Bleak Falls Barrow. Now I just need to get to the Hall of Stories and unlock the door. The legend says there's a test that the Nords put in place to keep the unworthy away, but that when you have the golden claw, the solution is in the palm of your hands. Palm of your hands? That's weird. Did you write it down wrong? It's supposed to be hand. Strange. Wait a minute. A claw is kind of like a hand. So, by hands it might mean your hand and the claw. What's in the palm of the... Aha! The palm of the claw has symbols. I don't know what those mean, but they must be connected. Bear, a moth, and an owl. Perhaps it will all make sense later. Well, for now I better advance with caution. As far as I'm aware, no human, or dark elf, or other inferior race has been through here. So, anything could be lurking. Empty. Well, now. Now, as a person who lives in Tamriel, whether or not I know about Draugr in particular, everybody ought to know that the dead routinely rise and fight and murder people who trespass in their tombs. It's just kind of a thing. There's necromancers in every street corner raising the dead. It's just like a fact of life in Tamriel. So seeing these like corpses kind of lying there suspiciously, I'm pretty confident they're going to get up and attack me. Luckily, once again, I'm prepared. Undead are impervious to all illusion spells like Fury. You can't use that on them. They're, also impervious to poisons and many other tools like that that I might use. But this will work on them quite efficiently. Actually, let me turn on my hotkey, my Breton special ability, Dragon Skin. The name is kind of a holdover from previous games that had no dragons in them, so it no longer makes much sense, but very good against magic people, who I might face later on. Well, why don't I make Spark? So 4, that's good. Make my power 8. Make this maybe 7 for now. That will change later. Or you know what? 2 for now. That will also change later. Well, there's at least one, but... Oh, here's one. Uh-oh. I woke something up, but this one didn't get up. Well, maybe I'll get back here and make myself a summon. No, don't get behind me. There they are. Now, it is a common misconception that Draugr are weak to fire spells. It's even on the Elder Scrolls Wiki. People have been saying it from day one. It is, and has always been, completely and totally false. I have no idea how this myth is still around. It's easy to disprove. they are not at all vulnerable to fire spells. They take just normal damage from it. Don't make me tank! Stupid dog. Another reason you can't rely on summons. They also will block you like that. Oh dear. They don't last very long, they're pretty fragile, so you can't rely on them as perfect tanks. Fire damage is fully effective against Draugr, which is good. And they're highly resistant to frost spells, so don't ever use frost on them, but fire is not super effective against them. But fire is still the best choice, for reasons that I will now get into. Let me compare one thing in my inventory for you here. Flames, sparks, both do 8 damage, right? But the sparks cost more. That pattern holds for all destruction magic. Fire is always the cheapest, lightning is always the most expensive, frost is always in between, and they always do the same damage. So basically you always get less for your mana with shock and with frost than you do with fire. Additionally, they all have some secondary effects. Fire does bonus hit point damage, very useful against all types of enemies, so you get more damage for your lower price. Frost does stamina damage, a lot of it, which is good against some kinds of opponents and is deadly in enemy hands, but pretty weak for the player, all things considered. Lightning does half damage to magic, which is situationally useful against mages, but garbage against anybody else. So again, fire always useful, other things situational at best. There's the person's shadow moving around. Can I... There you are. Toasted, but there's another one. You can see they're much tougher than bandits. Ooh, this one's got a battle axe. It better not be hit by him. So, essentially, fire should be your go-to spell for most purposes, because you get much more damage for your amount of mana. And it's, doesn't have any situational side effects. There are downsides. For one thing, with projectile spells, fire is the slowest. It makes it the easiest to miss with. Frost is in between, and lightning actually has no projectile at all, it just instantly hits. Very useful. Additionally, some enemies are weak or resistant to these things. Fire, actually, quite a few people are weak to. Not Draugr, but vampires, some other kinds of undead like that, some frost animals, frost spirits of various kinds are weak to it, several other things like that. There are a few things that are resistant. Dark elves are very resistant, so never use against a dark elf. Fire dragons are moderately resistant, but not too badly so. Lightning, on the other hand, almost nothing in the entire game resists it. You can pretty much use it against everything, but nothing is weak to it at all, so just kind of generically moderately effective. Frost is garbage because virtually everything in the entire game resists it heavily. First of all Nords, which are the most common race by far, 50% resistance to it. Most snow animals, resistant to it. All undead, resistant or immune to it. Dwarves, immune to it. Almost everything in the game is just, resistant to or immune to it, and almost nothing is weak. So, trash in every possible way. Well now, I have noticed that these guys do not rise from their graves if they don't have armor. That's a useful clue. Even if I attack them, they're just inert. Some kind of trap there. That looks lethal. That pressure plate in the ground and that spike. Well, and there's another one. Well, perhaps I can lure him into it. I don't have a projectile spell yet, so I've got to rely on the bow for this. But I can try to wake him up. Draugr are heavy sleepers. Wow. Yeah. Okay, fine. Do it that way. Alright, now he's awake. Now, I'll get out that spell again. And that bow again. Bow is like a spell. I'll wait. He stops and taunts me. I think he didn't shoot right then or I would have lost. Bam! Powerful trap. Would easily instant kill me. Alright. Ooh. Good for smiths, I guess, although orc weapons aren't really that impressive. But theoretically good for smiths. Alright, that was the toughest enemy in the entire dungeon taken care of right there. He is actually a spellcaster besides being a much more powerful Draugr, so he can take out almost any kind of character with ease. I could have turned undead him, that would have worked, but it would have been still a touch and go kind of fight. What's down here? Let me not charge in there. Let me make a summon and have it charge in there. Oh wow, there's more than one. Good thing I did that. It's a good thing Hjalti is so cautious. Well, perhaps I can lure them into this trap. and avoid it myself. Yes, right this way, my pretty. Just charge blindly toward me. You're... Okay, it's standing right on it. It's not going off. Not very nice. I believe the reason for that is the arrow is still on. The arrow prevents it from going off again, which is very, very silly. And it is also not consistently true. Sometimes that will work again. This is a lady Draugr, by the way. That's why she looks different. Also, by the way, Draugr are a real thing from Scandinavian mythology, although they were different from this. They did kind of guard tombs and were like ancient heroes and whatnot, but they had... Well, I'll get into that more later when I get into the lore of this game. Alright, well, one down. Hopefully the Flame Atronach took down the other ones, or injured them at the very least. But it might have also just kind of taken cover and like thrown fireballs at rocks for a while. You never know. Again, no one spell will solve all your problems, so you gotta kind of rely upon them all flexibly and be ready to adapt and change your tools. There's no arrow lying on it. How in the world? Whatever. So, yes, it did take out the two of them. Very good. Ooh, I heard something drawing a weapon perhaps in there. That sounds dangerous. This is a good kind of bow for a warrior character, but for me, I don't really need it right now, because I won't be doing any fighting with bows, because I am a mage, and not an archer. Swinging blades that will easily kill me if I'm not careful here. I could disable them with this lever. But traps are a valuable resource for me. Ooh, this is dangerous. That is a pot of oil that falls to the ground and will explode and do high damage to me. Probably will kill me in one shot. Can't have that happen. There's one of them down there. We'll see how tough he is. Yeah, not too bad. But why waste my magic on such like a lowly enemy here? Oh, I got hit. That was poorly done. But he will get chopped up easily enough. Man, I can't remember the last time I got hit by these things. That was really a failure on my part. Well, we'll see what's around the next bend. Oil. I mentioned this stuff is very dangerous. I'm not going to be shooting flames there. Yet. There's another. He's awake. Well, now that you're standing in the oil, I will do that. And he got right out of it. And it didn't do much damage to him compared to what it would do to me. You can see you don't ever want to be hit by an enemy in this game on Legendary. Oh dear, there's more of them coming. Hopefully they'll get chopped up. That's kind of my only chance at this point, besides just running back further. Very good. Next up. Very good. So, on Legendary difficulty, your greatest weapon is not your summons, or your illusions, or your destruction, certainly, and not even your restoration. It's your brain. And that is not like a rotten, mummified brain is really a key strength in this dungeon. I don't think I need this thing anymore, and I'm going to get it out of my way so it doesn't... Yep, that's how they explode like that. So, you see it does lingering fire damage for a while. Those Draugr lucked out not getting fried up. But they don't take the extra damage from Legendary, only I do. They, of course, take reduced damage from most things. Well, cleared out that whole hallway pretty well. It's now going that Draugr can sleep on these wall sconces, which is also creepy. I'll have to be looking around over my shoulder for the entire rest of the game. What's next up? Sarcophagus of some kind up there. Let me... He's a weaker summon, so I have some... Oh dear, yes. Oh, so I have now leveled up for the first time. When my skills increase, I get that XP bar that you can see there. When the XP bar gets all the way, I can level up. Very useful. I'll talk more about that later. I want to kind of save it for now. But leveling up is an important part of empowering your character. The world also kind of grows with... Oh, yeah, you can see that summons cannot tank very well. Oh, am I going to get killed because I got stuck? No. Getting stuck happens a lot in this game, and it gets you killed all the time in Legendary. That's one of the things that I will not be restarting my character for. Because it doesn't really make any sense. Treasure chest. Useless! So, the key thing about being an Argonian is you can breathe underwater. I can think of a grand total of 0 times and 0 cents I've ever used that. Or wished I could use that. That's one of the reasons that the Argonian race is terrible.
Well, there is that one time where you have to maybe find something at the bottom of the lake, or you could just hand over some gold instead.
Or try on the request marker, that would work too.
Quest mark?
You know, just make that your active quest so the mark will be over.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. But the quest is to find it, so they don't actually give you a marker.
That is unusual, because usually they say find this thing that's hidden, and then they put the marker on it.
Yep, the lake is the only one that I've encountered, at least, that they don't do that. It took me a long time of swimming to find that. I think it was a quill. Let me tell you, cats do not like swimming.
So, if you're a warrior character, this is the first place you get a free mining pick and you can mine some ore, which is a fun part of the game, but I'm not going to be doing any smithing as I've said before, so none of that for me. Ooh, treasure chest. Useless, not bad. Let me peek over this overlook, and oh gosh, it's a Draugr. Well now, I know a fight's coming up, so let me just make a summon. It didn't work. Let me try that again. Make a summon. Way to give away our position. I don't think enemies hear your summon sounds. They hear the sound of you actually casting the spell, but they don't notice your summon howling and things like that. Another lady Draugr. They're pretty rare, but they do exist. You sometimes see me cast with only one hand when I'm worried about hitting my familiar by accident. So it's best in that case just cast from this hand, so I don't have to be doing flames right over the top of it. Okay. Well, I can see down there is some kind of dead end. I don't like being at a low place when the high place is unexplored, but it also doesn't have enemies coming up from below, so I better come down this way. Oh, what do you know? It's harmless and there's a treasure chest. Novice skin. Most locks are leveled. You find higher level ones later in the game, but there are always some that are scripted to be expert, master, etc. Wow. Got more money from like the dead guy there. So, up we go. What's around this next creepy corner? Ooh, I see a shadow moving around in there. Yes, Draugr. With a battle axe in a confined space where you don't want to fight guys with battle axes. Let me come back a little ways and make a summon. Get my mana back. So, as a warrior character, I love fighting people with battle axes because it's a kind of fun, skill-based challenge. They will crush you if you fight poorly, but you can beat them if you fight well. As a mage, I dislike the chance of being instant killed by them. There it is. Oh, it's a restless Draugr, yes. I had better be cautious. It will probably massacre my summon. I'm already out of mana, so I need another option here. Yep, there it goes. Unfortunately, my best option at this point is not a fantastic one. How much mana do I need for this? I need most of my mana. That will not work so great. Luckily, the enemy loves to just kind of watch you and taunt you. Draugr especially. May have to back up. May have to lure him all the way back to those blade traps, although I hope not. What I hope to do is get my mana back, and then maybe try a better summon in like a confined area where I can force it to fight him in melee. Which is not good. He will do heavy damage to it, but it'll burn him up pretty badly too. Later on, I'll have the delightful ability to just kick this guy off this cliff here, but for now, I don't have that ability. So. Really cost me all my mana still. I'm lucky I'm a Breton and have that bonus to conjuration, so I can do this a little bit better. Another thing, if I was a high elf, I would have, extra mana, so it'd be easier. It is much harder to play this game early on as a Breton than a high elf, but I'll pay, benefit from that with advantages later on in the game. Summon is not helping as much as I was hoping. There it is. All right, maybe I have to give it like straight. Oh dear. Down I go. Alright, now it has to fight the summon. You have to use the terrain to your advantage whenever possible. The enemy can't jump, and they're not smart about walking off cliffs, although they can do that from time to time. Alright, it will probably kill this Astronaut before too long, so I'd better do as much damage as I can, and try not to get trapped behind him. There we go. I went by while he was between swings, and we've got him. Great. Well, that's trash, but whatever. Alright. Another dangerous enemy down. That guy could probably have killed me in one shot. One-handed enemies are a bit less of a threat on Legendary as a mage. As a warrior, you really care more for the one-handed guys because they're harder to dodge when you're point blank with them, whereas the two-handed guys are much more predictable. But as a mage, like you take more damage, you can't survive the hit, so the two-handed guys who can kill you in one shot are more of a problem. Nice. So lockpicking is a skill like anything else, it can level up. Getting pretty good luck with this jewelry along here. Ah, second zone of this dungeon. Let's see what's in here. More of these creepy dragon type things. These are supposed to be dragons. They don't look much like dragons to me, but that's appropriate because they're kind of based on Viking figureheads that kind of similarly looked like not actual depictions of dragons. I like that touch there. I hear spinning blades and sound like Draugr grunts. Well now, many traps in that room. Be dangerous sprinting in there without knowing what's in there, and oh gosh, that's why it's dangerous. Bye. Alright. Oh, there's more than one. Very, very dangerous. But he's a melee guy. Come on in. All the cool kids are doing it. And he somehow passed through almost unscathed. That is lucky for him, unlucky for me. So tough. These things actually mean things in the dragon language, and I will translate them for you in the future when I have a reason to know some of that stuff. For now, they're speaking nonsense. Alright, one down. But there's more than one in there. So, I happen to know that some of the other ones are archers, so it's hard to lure them. We pop into this side room. I saw one up there in that higher area. That's a useful potion, I may use that later on. If I can lure them to these traps, that would work. Yes. That one's melee, okay. Come on over here. Your buddy made it through just fine. What are the odds something bad will happen to you? Don't. I'm right over. He lost track of me. I've mentioned. Oh dear. Uh-oh. Hope it works. There we go. I have mentioned before that the enemy is very bad at detecting you in stealth mode, and they will just lose track of you. They'll be staring right at you, they'll be like, I don't know where you are anymore, and they'll just leave you alone. That's why stealth is so powerful. That's why I won't be doing any of that. Alright. So he's up here somewhere with his powerful bow and his powerful arrows, which I don't want to be taking to the face. I can't lure him into the trap, so what I'll do instead is I'll summon something on top of him point blank. Ta-da! Oh, jeez. I hate when it does that. Point blank. He'll have to switch to like a weak dagger if he has one. He does not have one, so he's continuing with that bow. They can shoot through those gaps. Uh-oh. Alright. There we go. Now from down here, I can torch him with that. Fry him up pretty well. Get back here, you! So he does have an axe. He probably has less skill with it, so it's good to have him switch to that. You generally want to force archers and other people to use things they're not good at. Never play to the enemy's strength. If they're an archer, make them use melee. If they're melee, fight them at range. If they're a spellcaster, don't let them cast spells, etc. Anything you can do to make the enemy weak and yourself strong is to be done. Alright. More oil traps. I will conserve those. I may need them. This is a creepy looking place. Look at these wall carvings. Strange moths, some kind of mysterious figure, people carrying sarcophagi. Moths. I don't like the look of this place, but nothing jumping out. I can't see any hiding places or obvious traps. Ah, Looks like a claw, doesn't it? Well, I know the right combination. I won't risk a trap trying the wrong one. Let's make it bear, if we can find it, then moth, and then owl. Bear, moth, owl. Well, I will put that claw in from way over here. And it works. What's happening? What a bizarre, overly complicated kind of door. We know this was not before locks were invented because there's locked treasure chests in here. Well, this seems like a dangerous room. Bats! Ah! Oh, harmless. Sarcophagi. Probably not harmless. Out of character, of course, I know all these things are empty. Perhaps they're the ones who rose up and I fought earlier? Perhaps they're somewhere in here. Just bats again. I don't like the look of this strange thing. If there's a trap, it's probably intended for people walking up in front of it. So let me go around and see if there's anything behind it. Where I happen to know there's a treasure chest that most people don't know exists. It's a strange chanting I can hear. It's not letting me jump over it. There we go. Treasure. Wow. It happens. Your lockpicks take permanent damage over time, so you can break them eventually, like the first click on a weak lock eventually, if you've done well before. But not perfectly. It's kind of strange chanting sounds. Alright. Well, if there's a trap again, they're probably expected to take the obvious path. Let me come up around here instead. Sarcophagus. I like the looks of that. Let me just conjure myself up a friend here. Treasure chest. I can never resist treasure. I don't know how I open and get all the stuff out from back here. Hjalti is truly a man of many talents. This staff will let me cast a familiar spell without spending mana. Fairly useful. I may get some use out of that, actually. I'm not going to step close to that thing. I don't like the looks of that. There's that strange wall. Let's have another one of these. You can't have two summons at once. I'll replace the old one, but I just want it closer by. It's been carvings? What is this? I don't even know how I learned that word. I shouldn't recognize it. Whatever. Oh dear, it's coming out. Alright. Well, now I'm going to level up. So I can now choose to increase my health, or my stamina, or my magic. All are useful. I feel like I could use some health so you have less chance of being instant killed right now. I will want both magic and stamina later on. And much more interestingly, I can choose a perk and improve one of my skills. That's where Skyrim really improves over a lot of these other games in this series, which you have no real control and choice in. So it's very boring. So I can improve my destruction with many choices later on. I can improve my conjuration, my illusion, my restoration, anything. Even one of my skills that I don't really like much. Restoration is moderately useful. I will want some of that later on. But right now, really, I've been hurting for a lack of destruction spells. And running out of mana for them too fast. So I'll take the... Darn it. I'll take this low-level destruction perk that'll have my cost for those destruction spells I've been casting. There we go. That'll be very useful. Leveling up also restores all your mana and so forth. So I can equip this and blast away, and now he's turned. Oh, he's too powerful. Okay. So turn spells only work on low-level people. Oh, what is that strange power he just blasted me with? I don't like that. But no matter the level of the enemy, even the weakest turn spell will stun them briefly. You can use that to your advantage later on. And I certainly will. Fight the summon, not me! Alright, well luckily... damaging and staggers me. Scary stuff. Luckily, he's a melee guy with a two-handed weapon in this big open room, so this places my strength and his weaknesses, and he is at my mercy. Nope. Oh, got me. It's a pretty big area, hard to dodge it. Oh, there goes the summon. But I'm not too worried anymore, because he's slow, I'm fast, I now know what his power is like. I can use the terrain to my advantage here. Like I said, it will never be just perching up on high ground. Missed. But I will be using terrain and my ability to jump and climb over things to, in an active, more engaging kind of style, take enemies out. Things that are about my skill rather than the enemy's pure stupidity. Not too bad after all, now that I'm used to it. I bet a simple restoration spell could block this. If only I knew that spell. And if only it wasn't a terrible idea for reasons I'll get into later. Why do you keep stopping? Drow are kinda dumb. I felt like that washed right over me but didn't hit me somehow. I'm mysterious. That was a terrible, terrible swing. Strike one. Strike two. And you're out. Oh. There we go. Wow, huge skill bonus there. Great. And this must be the Dragonstone I was sent to find, with this strange symbol at the bottom, which I've seen in these ruins. And these strange markings on it. I wonder what those could be. Perhaps Farengar will know. And this thing is a magic weapon and is totally not worth its weight. Magical items are often very valuable, but two-handed weapons are usually sucky. Kind of like heavy armor. Alright. I would like to see some sunlight again after this scary place, and several near-death experiences. Let me see if I can make my way out now. These ancient Nords may have been smarter than I thought. Not as smart as a Breton, of course, but close second, perhaps. Well, a creepy old skull. That's kind of weird, but it actually signifies nothing whatsoever. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. And out we go. So, thus concludes our second episode. It's nightfall now. Time for pure Hjalti to drink some mead, eat an entire wheel of cheese, eat some apples, and get down this mountain and find a place to sleep. But that is a story for another time. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day.